Hi, my name's Abigail, Ab, and I wanted to share something that has completely changed my life. And it wasn't anything outside of me, it was the way I thought about my life that changed the experiences I had. And for most of my life, I have spent living it in here, in my head, judging the way I was showing up, judging the way I was carrying myself, maybe judging the people around me, worrying about what Susie said to me last night, or worrying about what's to come tomorrow. I wasn't actually inhabiting my body. I wasn't inhabiting my being. I was living in my mind in a world that didn't even exist. And I feel like that's what gives me the right to speak about this because I lived the contrast for the first 30 years. And I want to talk about a little bit how I got to here because I think it can be very helpful for other people. And I have this deep desire to share what's worked with me, what's worked for me, to maybe even help one other person. And the biggest thing I want to share is for me coming back to presence. The last few years, I have practiced coming back into my body. So if my mind, sorry, there's a goose in the water in front of me. It's so beautiful. If I find myself spiraling, or I don't know, I'm thinking of something that's not here right now, I will bring myself back to the present moment through what I call the 2 point awareness, which hacks my mind because on the breath in, I focus on this space in my inner chest. And as I breathe out, I focus on the seat beneath me, the ground under my feet. And if my mind is focused on my breathing, breath in on my chest, breath out, ground under my feet, it's like I've overridden my mind. I can't be thinking about things that are not important in this moment because I'm right here, right now. And 2 point awareness. I did that. There were days I did that a million times a day for the last few years. There were days where I was able to be in presence longer periods of time and I only had to do it a few times. But what happened every time I caught myself in my mind somewhere else and I brought myself back to this present moment? Excuse me, I got a golden token. And over time, every single time I did that, I came back to the present moment. I got a golden token, and those golden tokens compounded day in and day out till eventually I had built an entire fucking temple within me. And what I mean by that is now I operate from this space where I've trained my mind to bring me back to the present moment automatically. I'm not consciously doing it. Like my mind, I've trained, rewired my mind to do it on its own. And it feels like fucking magic. But I think because I spent the first 30 years of my life living in my head, that now that I'm experiencing these long, prolonged periods of presence, like life feels so much more alive and magical, like almost like when I was a kid, a really young kid. And I think there's a whole other rabbit hole I could go down about. I believe that we come into the world pure like that, and then we get all this conditioning layered on us, etc., that teach us to live in our minds and worry about what other people think, when in reality, nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're doing. Nobody cares what you're wearing. And if they do, if they have a judgment for you and they're willing to say it to your face, guess what? That's usually just a reflection of whatever they're dealing with internally. And like I always tell my girls, my daughters, in a world where you can choose to be anything, choose kindness. Because the people who we deem deserves it the least are typically the ones who need it the most. So, anyways, be the change.